Yeah,
right?
I think now we're live. Okay, we're live now.
All right.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Finance Junkies. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever, dude. That's
We
what.
fired AMIT, guys. It's
He's
done.
gone.
It's done. But we're not allowed to screen share because he still controls that aspect of it.
He took that with him. It was in the divorce contract.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I guess we're talking about Elon. Is that what we're talking about?
Are we still talking
Yes,
about Elon?
Well,
Yes.
Elon Musk. The title is Elon Musk doesn't care anymore. He doesn't give a shit.
Let's see what he means.
Yeah. Well, if we can share it, but we can't.
What the hell is he talking about?
Well, the funny thing is, before we share the clip,
How are we doing FUD on Elon Musk the day before Cybertruck?
well, before we share the clip, oh, there you go. The clip is it's happening.
Oh, he went when he went to Israel. Yeah.
No. This is he did an interview today with Andrew Ross Sorkin at a conference, and it was a conference with other CEOs as well. So Bob Iger was there, Jamie Dimon was there.
Also, I guess there were no more scheduling.
Yeah, Jensen was there.
Huh? I guess there were no more scheduling conflicts. Miraculously.
Yeah. All right, so let's watch what Elon said during this interview. By the way, shout out to Andrew Ross Sorkin. I think this guy is one of the best moderators to ever come on. And by the way, even before this interview, Andrew Ross Sorkin was asked whether or not he should platform Elon Musk. How fucking stupid is that? You have one of the most significant entrepreneurs of our generation. And I'm not trying to suck his dick, but I'm just saying, this guy is important to understand where we are in the sense of the general economy. And the first thing that people were doing is calling Andrew Ross Sorkin and saying, "Hey, don't even interview this guy. Fuck everything else. Don't interview him." So
how ridiculous
just to put things into context, this is what we're fucking up against. So sorry, go ahead.
Before you hit play on it, why doesn't everyone just lightly massage and gentle and circle around the like button? And if you feel so compelled, push it.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to hit subscribe. Maybe you want to hit the bell too. Just go ahead and hit it. A little touch, a little cyber touch.
Yeah. And we won't sue you for it.
No. Oh, look, I see them all floating in. Look at that. Look at all.
Listen, I don't know who would say that. Don't put Elon Musk on a TV show because they put Gordon Johnson on every. I can't imagine.
Well,
you can't put Elon Musk on.
Gordon Johnson saying was what they want. Actually, I've been listening to this podcast, Joe Rogan, for the last couple of days. The same one. I haven't gotten through it yet. And they were talking about that whole thing with Elon. They were just up to the part where the guy was explaining just how the government essentially turned on him when he said he wanted to buy Twitter to begin with. So I'm curious to see what's that.
All right, here's Elon. This was 2 hours ago. This completely put the internet on fire. Here's what he had to say.
Tour, if you will. That this had been said online.
Amit, you are killing me.
Dude, I am streaming on my phone right now. I could probably do better.
Verizon fiber, man.
Tell your mom to stop watching the telenovelas.
That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was.
Damn.
Okay, somebody else got to stream it.
Someone else got to do it. Someone else got to do it. Chris, you got to do it. Chris, go to my tweet. Just share my tweet.
Are you using a 56K dial-up modem still?
Dude, I don't know what it is with Twitter video, YouTube video.
No, that's true.
Twitter. This is Elon's fucking fault, bro. The servers are shit on Twitter. It's so bad.
Sometimes it's bad. I mean,
yeah, Chris, just pull up my tweet. That's the exact moment, and then I'll share that.
What's up?
I'm not downloading corn. I don't do that. Good.
Peace is saying finally get a chance to catch you guys live. Nice. We've been seeing that a lot more in the chat lately, people that I guess have been sort of creeping our page and have not come on to say, hey, so at the end of this, we should throw the link in the chat and get some of these people to come on, say hi.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm about to share it. There we go.
And this clip, basically, we're about to show for those that don't know, it made KRIS make some decisions, made everyone. We got a lot of implications.
No, I made this decision a week ago, so it wasn't something.
Okay, so we'll get into it. We'll get into
it to highlight it. Yeah,
I bought Disney today, guys.
Good for you.
Blackmailing with money.
Go to the beginning.
Okay. Tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger
I hope
today.
they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Oh,
Well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about?
All right, so this was pretty epic. I'll go first because I know you guys got a lot to say. As someone who is in their mid-20s and starting to finally learn the value of free speech in a democracy, this is one of the most epic things a 26-year-old could see on the internet. It's just the world's richest man saying, fuck you, big corporations that are trying to dictate what other people get inside their feeds. This whole platform was colluded with this bullshit. I bought this shit. I went into debt, even though there's no reason I should have, but I did it just for this one reason, not because it was some monetization engine, just for that one reason. And now I'm going to figure out some way to make money without Disney and Apple and Pfizer and IBM and Etsy and all these random companies buying ads on my platform. I'm going to figure out a way to give people free speech without compromising their right to speak. I thought it was epic. I thought it was the most epic thing I've seen. And at the New York Times conference, the New York Times has been so critical over the past 2 years of Elon because they're the New York Times. He just said, fuck you. Said he don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourself. I mean, that pause, the way it was just beautiful. It was music to my ears seeing someone like him saying it. I think he solidified his legacy as the greatest entrepreneur of all time because of what he did today. Vitaly, your take.
Yeah, he's fucked. No, I'm gonna give the opposite take of everybody.
No, Vitaly's gonna say, that's idiotic.
Well, there is a part of idiocy to it, and because I'm not just gonna go suck Elon's dick that he did the right thing in terms of telling corporate America to go fuck himself because he's part of corporate America. Let's not take the guy who's the richest guy in the world and separate him from corporate America. He got there by being a ruthless businessman, not by being the best fucking guy in the world, by being the smartest, most ruthless businessman. That's how you get $250 billion. Just like Mark Zuckerberg gets to 1 billion friends by fucking everybody. So I don't think that he is an altruist here, but he's saying the correct thing at the right time. Let me take it back though. Why is he saying it? Let's discuss for 1 second. Why is he saying that? Why was he put in this position? Amit, you want to answer that? Why does he have to even respond to this? Why is Disney pulling out? Why is Apple pulling out?
Elon posted a tweet. The tweet was perceived as anti-Semitic. He actually apologized for the tweet today. So at the same time he says fuck advertisers, he did acknowledge he made a mistake. And the advertisers just felt like it was getting too toxic on the platform, and so they left.
So before I give the to somebody else, Carlos, to talk, I think he said the right thing, but there is a reason that this happened, and it's because he said something. Advertisers for 10 seconds, 10 minutes, a day, a year will stay away. But let's face it, at the end of the day, if people are on Twitter, and I still see Twitter is growing at this point, I don't see it shrinking, right? So if people are still on Twitter, they're going to come back. So I actually don't have any problem that they're going away right now, but Bob Iger at the end of the day wants to sell more Disney Plus subscriptions. And if he sees a way to get that, he'll stay away for 2-3 months. He'll let the heat die down. And I bet you anything, Bob Iger and everybody else is going to be right back on Twitter because it is a unique platform to advertise on. So I don't think at the end of the day, they're going anywhere.
Okay, let's get Carlos's take, and then we'll get Chris's big decision after he saw this.
I actually think it was an altruistic moment. I think this is a guy that has suffered to run the companies that he's run more so than many other CEOs have suffered to run their companies. I mean, he has a PTSD from Model 3 launch. He almost lost Tesla. SpaceX almost didn't exist because he decided to do Tesla and SpaceX. So this guy could have been a footnote in history if he would have failed at those companies, right? And then he went out even further and bought Twitter. This is not a guy who's motivated by money, and I think he is sick of being pushed around. And I think the powers that be felt like the advertising lever was one that they could always push on him to be able to get him in line. If all else fails, we can always push that lever to get him in line. And I think he finally just said what everyone's been thinking or what we wanted him to say. Fuck you. Like, you're not going to blackmail me. Because remember, he picked that word for a reason. You're trying to blackmail me by basically saying, I'm gonna work to bankrupt your company. If you don't get in line and apologize and do what we're saying. It's basically, this is now like woke mind virus, like level 10 mage attack, right? It's like
it's attack on a company where supposedly average people like you and I can find a voice. Yeah. If I don't have Twitter, I don't have an audience like that is so powerful. And these companies are basically saying, we're going to crush that entire platform you built
I'll tell
unless
you what he
do
did
it the way
do.
we want.
I'll tell you what he did do. He comes out tomorrow and says, please, everybody, pay the $8 a month and verify so we can not ever have anyone tell us what we can say or not say because of advertisers. That was the point of the $8, is to say, if everyone paid $8, we don't need advertising.
Yep.
You'll help.
So is
support the
that
platform.
true? You're saying that, but is that true? Right now, is the $8 enough to support?
There's
the
100 and
platform?
There's
how many active
there's
users?
250 million monetizable DAUs, right? So
Mhm.
250 times 8.
Times
That
eight.
was what? 250 times 8. That would be 200 million. No, sorry.
1.25 billion. Isn't it?
1.25 billion a month, right?
Wait,
So let's say 15
lot.
billion a year. Yeah, it's a lot of money. So 15 billion a year.
Uh-huh.
But how much are they actually?
That would be astronaut. Twitter has
that's
done 4 billion in revenue a year for the past 10 years max.
Right. So I'm not disagreeing. It'd be great if that happened. But how
Mhm.
many actual users right now pay for the platform?
I don't know.
That number, look it up. I'm sure you could find out what the
No,
number
you can't. We only know they get 1.5 million signups a day. We know that. Linda said that's a real stat.
You tell me there's no statistics on how many people pay the $8?
Dude, they're private. They don't give a fuck.
I think they are private. But if you could do some back of the napkin math. So basically, okay, if he hits around 5 billion even, right? So he hits what? How many people?
We'll do the math. To make 5 billion a year, how many subscribers? What's 5 billion divided by 8?
That'll be already more than Twitter in its history.
Right. Yeah, to make, and with 80%, with 20% of the staff.
You would need to convert 10 to 20% of the users, and that's not easy to do.
But I'm saying it's possible. So it's possible for him to have a sustainable business. And if that occurs, I actually agree. That's the way it should go, because Elon is Elon, and he's going to keep saying things every single year, every single 6 months. And we all love it because we love Elon. But let's face it, there's business consequences to that. So that's not good for him and Twitter in the future, because right now, I don't think they're profitable right now.
And on top of that, Vitaly, most people don't get the value we might get from Twitter. I mean, most people, dude, my sister thinks Twitter is dead. I have 20,000 followers. She was like, so what? Like, she doesn't even understand Twitter. Like, she gets Instagram. That's why Zucks has 5 billion fucking people use it, right? So
can you run
not as valuable of a product
right now? How many people right here pay for Twitter that watch this channel right now?
Yeah, how many?
328 people here. I think maybe 10 out of the 3.
Here's the other thing.
Let's see. These are the people who actually pay attention. Let's see how many of these.
Do a poll if you can. Do a poll. But actually,
I am curious.
To your point, Vitaly, now that he says don't fucking advertise, now that's going to seem like the I stand with Elon. That'll be the new virtual signaling, right? Everyone's going to go, well, now we're going to advertise because we support free speech.
Well, there's going to be some people who advertising with them now, but the problem is the big brands. Well, like I said, I think they're coming back. I really think it's BS. At the end of the day, they want eyeballs, and if Elon is getting 1 million new users every month, they're going to want these eyeballs eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's transition to the decision KRIS made. Let me bring that up. And then I have a KRIS. I'll share a clip after you talk about this decision. And then I want to talk about the what Elon has up his sleeve, because I don't think he just said this sporadically. I do think he has some ideas here about fucking advertisers. Okay, so this is the decision KRIS made, not today, but this was the final straw, I guess, that made KRIS do this. Christopher Patel has sold out of his entire Disney position. He has done a bunch of research in DD over the summer. I'll read from him himself. My hopes were that management would show prudent judgment with regards to capital allocation, creating synergies around the merger of Hulu and Disney Plus. But after they pulled advertising off X in the hopes of influencing Elon to limit free speech under the guise of anti-Semitism, that was the last straw. Regardless if Disney goes to 150, 200, and I missed out on gains, taking a stand against corporations who think they can bully people into accepting less freedom is way more important to me. I didn't risk my life for this country. KRIS is a veteran. So easily to give it up in the pursuit of profits. Anything worth having will always be worth fighting for. All I have to say going forward about the matter is the same thing Elon said. Fuck you, Robert Iger. And you got the Joker meme. It's about sending a message. And then we got the actual sell. So KRIS, we're going to give you the floor here. Before you start, I think the audience wants to know, did you lose money on this? How much money did you really have? And then you can get into your logic around the decision.
Yeah, I lost money. I lost money around this. I actually took a sizable position on their options contract for December of 2025, even before the 2026 came around. So I took this position during the summer, hoping that, Disney was, and I did like literally multiple posts on my Patreon. Like it was like literally hours and hours, if not days worth of researching every fine detail of Disney's thing. But before we talk about that, I really, can you do me a favor? Go to the thing I'm sharing right now, because I want to show you guys, before we start to crucify Elon and just say, oh, Elon, he all he cares about is money. Let's take a look at this, because I think this is what really set me off last week. And this is one of the things that now I'm seeing this. This is another things that's leading them to it. All right. So
some good sponsors. We've had some bad sponsors. What I don't like is when you have a company or a group of people, it could be a network, it could be anybody, that starts coming in and telling you what to do with your fucking business. You need to do this and you need to do that, or we're going to pull our sponsorship. Well, you can pull your sponsorship and you can take every fucking dollar of your money and roll it up into a little ball and you can shove it right up your fucking ass. That's what you can do.
Hey, dog, it's like one big motivational video with this guy. It's just
like we're like locking eyes on. Just
yeah,
like,
hell yes, hell yes.
How
you
would
like your Goggins video right now?
So imagine you're in the podcast business, right? And you have a guest, and Peloton calls you, and this guy Robert Kennedy Jr. is a Democrat, and this is America. Robert Kennedy Jr. has, and I've never met Robert Kennedy Jr., just for the record. I mean, it sounds like I'm defending him like I'm talking about a close little friend of mine like Trump, who I've known for fucking many years, and he's one of my very good friends. I don't know Robert Kennedy Jr. I've seen his videos. What about Robert Kennedy Jr. would make your pompous, arrogant, fucking ass pick up a phone,
bike riding,
and tell somebody else, you better not, like this guy's fucking Hitler or some horrible fucking human being that walks the face of the earth. He's a fucking Kennedy. He's a smart guy. He has his own beliefs and his values. His podcast has to come down. You sell stationary bikes for a fucking living. You are a fucking clown. There is something mentally fucking unstable about you, that you have the balls to pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them to take another fucking guy's fucking podcast down. Really wrap your head around that. Do you know what a fucking absolute pompous, arrogant, I don't even have the rest of the words for this.
Like, let this man cook.
Yeah, he's just kind of sitting there like, yeah.
It's fucking mind-boggling to me. But it just shows you the mindset of what a fucking weirdo this guy actually really is. I just...
Peloton and UFC is dead.
Done.
Well, Peloton and UFC was never a thing anyway, so it's not like this guy needs to fuck.
There are probably some bikes ripping around.
We only had two, and they were in my fucking gym, and they're gone. We ripped them out of they're gone. They whipped them out right after the fucking
So you used to ride Peloton?
Before Theo
so
we're doing a deal now with
Gary Brecka.
Yeah. Too much EMF.
Yeah.
It's Ella Echelons. So Echelons fucking called me up. These guys are out of fucking Tennessee.
Shout out Tennessee.
Yep. And Echelons is now going to replace the bikes in there, and they're going to do a deal with Theo Vaughn.
So this actually was the start of something very revealing about the cancer and the poison that advertising supported platforms are basically like screwing themselves with. When companies like Meta and Google and everyone else, they take on these advertisers and they end up monetizing their business. And, we at the end of the day are the product. We think we're the consumer. We're not the consumer. We're technically the product, right? These advertisers are the real consumers. So the thing is, your consumers get what they want. Now, the question is who controls the consumers? And if the consumers are controlled by these nameless entities that are pushing the society and culture into one direction, that means that we're no longer living a free democracy. We're living in a fucking like oligopoly that's basically controlled by people with money. You want to live in a society like that? Go for it. That's fine. Go ahead. Say, you know what? I don't want my freedom of choice anymore. I don't want to think anymore. I just want to be told what to do, what to think, which God to pray to, because if I pray to the wrong one, X, Y, and Z could take away my meal ticket, right? Theo Vaughn is a very neutral person. He's a comedian. He was, he had an interview with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Okay, he's a Democrat, a liberal Democrat that's been fighting for a ton of like policies that are very liberal in nature. So this isn't like, oh yeah, we're after Trump. No, this is, we are here to control what you think. If you don't think like we do, or if you don't use your platform to promote the ideas that we want you to think, then don't bother. And you know what? At the end of the day, this podcast could one day face the same ramifications if we end up getting a sponsor and we end up quitting our jobs and say, you know what? I'm gonna live off. We're gonna live off the YouTube revenue.
Yeah, and they say, admit, you better put some pants on, or we're not sponsoring you anymore.
And
then all of a sudden,
Santa Claus rally tonight, baby. We're doing.
I thought we were gonna see some junk.
It's
junk in that trunk.
That one of the biggest vulnerabilities that anyone has is when you let people into your financial well-being, and then let your judgments be clouded by that. I think right now, one of the things that scares me, and the thing that I've mentioned to you guys, I don't want to end up becoming the next, people like, I don't want to say meet Kevin, but I'll give him as an example. Okay. When your lifestyle becomes dependent on content creation, what happens is you put yourself in this kind of a weird rabbit hole where now you have to kind of like, you no longer have real freedom to say what you want to say anymore. At that point, you just have to kind of make the corporate overlords happy. Otherwise, hey, listen, that lifestyle is gone. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, V, you're frozen. I think you should just leave and come again.
So the whole thing with me investing and doing all this stuff with you guys, I want to have my own money that one day, if someone comes to me and says, hey, you need to think like we do and promote that to your audience, you know what I'm going to tell them? The same exact thing that Elon told these people. Fuck you. I'm halfway to my fuck you.
And then they come to me and I'll be like, we're going to make a deal. Don't worry about it.
So
this guy,
if you want to,
real quick, I had a situation like this in the summer of 2022. There was a company that offered me 20 grand and I said no because I didn't like the business model. In fact, Chris, it's a company you know very well. So this whole AMIT would sell out. Dude, 20 grand was a lot last year. 20 grand is still a lot, but I said no because I didn't like it. So I think all of us here have some ethics when we're trying to think of this stuff, right?
How much is your freedom worth to you? Because I'll tell you right now, you know how much it's worth to me? Fucking, there's nothing you could pay me to shut me the fuck up. Sorry,
I'm pretty sure
you can buy VITALY. You can buy VITALY. VITALY's on sale right now.
Just so you know, most of us
look at his camera. Look at his camera.
Is it bad? Because I'm streaming from my phone.
Really bad.
I'm not sure.
It's really bad. Yeah,
it's very, very.
The audio's good. That's the good thing. The audio's
good.
All right, the audio's good. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're all there's a price that we will do something for. Maybe not something unethical, but there's a price that we're going to be, like showing that juice. What is that popular juice all the YouTubers are showing? AG1 or something?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, one day we'll be doing AG1. I don't drink AG1.
I actually take AG1.
There you go. Somebody drinks it. So I'm saying, Chris, what you're saying sounds good in theory, but when something like this becomes a business, you have to think in business terms too. So if you did quit your job, quit your job, Chris, and you have to support a family, you're going to think about that. I'm not saying
the good thing is Chris is not in that position, right? That's the good thing.
Yeah, we're all not in that position.
But I just want to say this. Like literally, while you were saying that stuff, it almost brought a tear to my eye, Chris, because like it's literally what I feel like I've been saying for months. Except I'm not talking about Twitter. I've been talking about Meta. Like Meta at $88 was a stupid no-brainer. It's going back to 200 or 300. And I really made a choice not to participate in that because I fundamentally disagreed with what that company was doing for the same reasons that you're talking about right now. It's very hard to leave that money on the table, right? And not make that money. But like you said, there's a certain level of principle that I'm like, I really don't like what this company's doing. If they just got rid of the ad model and charge me $10 a month to use Facebook and maybe did a bundle, $15 for Instagram, ad free, just, clean algorithm, I would absolutely pay it. I would absolutely pay it. It's the way that they're making money that is forcing them to do things that are not good for us. And I could not feel, I wouldn't feel good with myself knowing that I rode that up and made all that money, because then I'm kind of rooting for that company to succeed. And what I feel they need to do to succeed is actually hurting my fellow humans. And so
let's get into Chris's point about Chris. So we got the point about free speech. Why did you sell Disney now? Like, let's make the argument there.
So there's two parts to it. Number one, of course, I didn't agree with them leaving the platform with Twitter. Basically, they were flexing their corporate muscle. They're flexing their corporate muscle. I didn't like that, especially when it comes to the X. And all the stuff that they're saying, like some people are saying, oh, you're just mad, blah blah. Dude, Disney was on this during times when Twitter was promoting terrorism anti-Semitism like there is no tomorrow. Pedophilia. There were crazy things on there. Okay, like way worse than they are today. So today, when they make a stand, this is not.
No, hold on. That's a really good point. Disney, there's been porn on Twitter forever. There's been a lot of horrible shit. Why now? Why now does Disney, Apple,
because it's the popular thing to do. This is what happens people get they get this derangement syndrome that they just want to feel like they are on the right side of the virtuous thing that happens to be virtuous at the moment.
But no. But Carlos, this is not, you know who this is? This is the problem. We think of it as, hey, just this one company. Dude, there's someone behind all of this shit, pulling more strings and just saying, hey, listen, you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. Because this isn't like, one decision by just Twitter, by Disney. There were 5 other corporations, like what is it, almost 10 corporations that did this at the same exact time. So who the fuck is putting pressure on these companies in order for them to go out and tell, hey, you need to pull your advertising?
I think it's a rock that is black.
Could be.
I mean, like that's, you know, it could be BlackRock. That's what I'm saying. But like, okay, so
there's people.
It's the Illuminati, buddy.
There's people behind that.
Behind the scenes, yeah. Okay, so Chris, that was the first reason you didn't like the flex on the corporate muscles. And then is there anything else related to Twitter, or can we get into the actual?
Yeah, it's the second thing too, which is
he's skipping the. I asked you. I thought you were pitching Disney. I thought when it was like down to 70, 80. So what happened? Were you not buying Disney at 70, 80?
No, I bought in the 90s. That's the thing.
We were talking about it in the 70s and 80s when it was tanking.
Yeah.
No. We were talking about it. No. We were talking about it at 95 in the summer. It got to 70 in October. So Chris bought it way higher.
So you never DCA'd in. You never kept going.
He was down. He was down for the past month.
But you see, if he DCA'd in, he'd be up.
Maybe.
I'm sure. So
you really believe.
So the other part to it also comes from, this is not a sustainable business practice where you alienate a vast majority of people. Okay, when you do stuff like this, it's something that Elon said during this thing with Andrew Ross Sorkin. It's like, look, if anything happens to Twitter, whatever, the world will see exactly what's going on. You know, and right now I'm sure that there's a ton of people that are saying, you know what, Disney, F you. My principles are worth more than a subscription to Disney Plus or Hulu. So in my opinion, this is also a bad move on Disney's part, because they're going to lose people, because people are waking up to this nonsense. You know, how long can you keep this up?
They only did this because they made a calculated bet that it was not going to go the way that it did. Like they felt like they would be able to do that, and they would pressure Elon, and either he would fail or he'd say something else, and they did not think that it could backfire on them. But this might be, look, 2 years from now, if the pendulum has finally swung the other way, this could be the turning point where this idea of virtue signaling is just sort of passé and it's not cool anymore, or it's lost its power and it doesn't have an effect. And look, you've seen that a lot of what happens at Twitter sort of trickles out to the other social media companies. Hey, maybe Zuck comes out tomorrow and it's like, fuck you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe.
Dude, Zuck is about to make so much money today. All those advertisers going right to Meta. So
basically, they're getting a benefit.
To Threads, there's 11 million people on Threads. Elon has 30 times the number of followers.
I like that he brings up Threads like it's the only thing Meta owns. But I didn't do this on purpose, but I did sign up for Disney Plus yesterday.
Are you quitting? Are you canceling? Are you?
No, I got a great deal.
Okay, here's a good question, Chris. Are you canceling Disney Plus?
Black Friday. It was $2.99, something like that, something stupid, and it was for Hulu. It was like 99 cents. I was like, this is a no-brainer.
I think, Chris, you got to cancel Disney Plus. You can't be watching Bluey now. You can't be watching The Mandalorian.
It wasn't on purpose. It just happened yesterday.
I'm probably not going to cancel Disney Plus, but I want to cancel Disney Plus. Like,
no,
I never had
not for free. It's basically free.
How many of you guys $3? How many guys pay for YouTube Premium?
Me.
I do.
You do?
Well, but this is the problem with Disney Plus.
Almost fucking hit the button today.
By the way, I do pay for YouTube Premium now. If you have a school thing that you can use, a school account, it's just cheaper. You can do that if you don't want to pay whatever it is. 10?
I honestly, don't you feel like if you are putting up enough content on Twitter, like if you're monetized, that maybe they should give you at least like one free YouTube Premium? I guess it doesn't make sense if you're making money off ads. They give you a free subscription so you don't have to watch ads, but still.
Yeah, it's not bad without the ads. It's better.
Yeah, I think it's tough because look, it's not like Disney Plus is going to lose a lot of subscribers over this, but they're going to lose people like KRIS that just can't support the company continuing to do this type of stuff because they'll be back in advertising tomorrow. Like Bob will give Elon a call, be like, "Hey, that was kind of funny." So we'll be back.
But
like,
what
you know, but it can leave the next day after.
But they don't care about subs. They care about the stock price. That's what they care about. So if this starts to have an effect on Wall Street's perception of Disney, like maybe it's a stock we don't want to touch.
I just wonder how many people like KRIS. Okay, let's say someone with kids, they sit down, little Johnny. Okay, Johnny, let me tell you what happened today. We can't watch The Mandalorian anymore. I'm sorry, Johnny, because Daddy doesn't want to support big corporate America. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. It's not a conversation that's going to happen. They're just going to keep paying it. So
let's have that conversation real quick. KRIS, how do you feel about the nature of like Carlos's point, right? Let's give Carlos the benefit of the doubt that Meta is the worst company in the world. You made a lot of money off Meta. Do you kind of feel like you took out of Disney less because it was the Elon thing, more because the thesis was breaking, which is fine? Or did this Elon thing really matter because all of us invest in hypocritical companies because it's America, right?
So I think it's both. You can have both things combined, and also remember you're taking on political risk now. Like this is something you have to weigh in terms of risk versus reward, right? So can someone accept an acceptable level of risk and still be in it? Yeah, of course. I'm sure that Disney will do well. By the way, my DD thesis is not broken when it comes to Disney. Disney is actually printing a lot of money. They're doing a lot more in cash. They're going to be able to use that cash to do other things. My problem now is around, okay, if this is what's happening with their business, if they're being controlled by the court of public opinion, which right now is swinging way against them, right? At the end of the day, they're one of the things that Bob Iger spoke about today when he was on the board was we need to get back to our original roots of doing things, right? There is probably an element in the company itself that is anti whatever that was. And I don't even know if Bob Iger has any power to change that around. That's another factor that I'm also considering in this, because when this decision was made, this decision to cut off the advertisers, I'm sure that, like I said, it wasn't a unilateral decision by Bob Iger, where Bob Iger just said, you know what, I don't agree with Elon doing. No, there's a board of directors. The board of directors probably made a phone call to Bob Iger, said, listen, let's vote on this. Let's talk about this. And it just goes to show that the people that are currently in charge of Disney, not just Bob Iger, even though Bob Iger is the face of the company, that there are people and elements within the company that are guiding it in the wrong direction. And that's exactly why there's activist movements to basically change Disney's course of action. If those activist investors get their way and actually return Disney back to what it's supposed to be, this could be a really good investment in the future. But right now, until those people are removed, this culture that Disney's developed around whatever the hell this is right now, that's like antithetical to like mainstream people, I don't think it's gonna
and it's
work.
fucking the movies. The movie that just came out did horrible. It did like $30 million. Whatever movie just came out.
There's a couple of things. Marvel was bad. I think Wish didn't do as good, but even that, like overall, the box office numbers are down. So, but if you're looking at just purely box office numbers, you're not going to see a lot of positive catalysts there. The problem is the content and everything else that comes along, like the next generation of it. Because right now, remember, all this production, and you guys work in media, these decisions were made 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they're finally releasing the movies now, right? The question is, what is Disney going to be releasing in 2 years from now and 3 years from now? If it's the same bullshit that they're releasing now, and you think that that's somehow going to be a sustainable practice, I don't think it will be. So,
South Park just made a movie, by the way, basically blaming Kathleen Kennedy. So I don't know how many movies she's in charge of producing, but she could be one of the reasons that Disney has these bad movies coming out with bad decisions being made.
No, I don't think it's Kathleen Kennedy per se. I think it's just a culture that's been created at Disney where everything has to be looked at from a decision-making lens that's very tinged with certain ideas. And if your idea comes in and it doesn't fit their model, then it's like, no, we're not doing that. We have to do it this way. because we want to be more inclusive. And to some degree, I agree with inclusivity. I'm all for inclusivity, by the way. I think there are ways that you can do it where you can actually, capture a vast majority of like the population. Like, dude, when Black Panther came out, Black Panther was like the most like amazing release of movies, right? It was sensitive to the character, it was sensitive to the community, but like a lot of what Disney's doing now is just rewriting things and just incorporating like a multicultural aspect to it. They're rewriting some of the stuff.
It's like brown face, yeah.
Right. And it doesn't resonate with people. And when it doesn't resonate with people, and that's one of the things that Bob Iger, by the way, mentioned too. It's like we need to stop making so many goddamn sequels. Like every other movie is a fucking sequel,
Or just a rehash of what happened.
Because what the movies have become have been a pipeline to merchandising. I mean, that's literally what it's been. It's just been a way to just get people to purchase the merchandise surrounding the movies. The one comment that I want to make is that what is vindicating about a moment like this is I think a lot of we talked about this at length before Elon bought Twitter, what the implications were going to be. And I think something like this shows how important that moment was, because whether you like the idea or you don't like the idea, if you're a Tesla investor, you think it was a good idea or a bad idea. And if Twitter ultimately fails, right, and disappears because of this, it shows everybody how things really work, right? Because I think before that, when Twitter was operating the way that it was this idea of like, what do you mean? It's a free platform. You can say whatever you want. We're just censoring the bad speech, and we're doing it for your own good. But now you understand how this really works, how money is used to influence what you think. And it's the idea of like, we're all below the line, right? To use that Chamath thing. We're starting to realize that. So however this turns out, hopefully this has opened up a sort of Pandora's box of awareness for people about how these companies use their money, power, and influence to basically design society and not let it really be free. And I hope it stays afloat. But if it doesn't, I don't think we'll never be able to say we don't know.
So let's transition to this, because I think this is an important topic as well. How the new Twitter will operate if the advertising thing really does go away. So I have 3 ideas, but I want to get your ideas. Either Elon was very calculated and he was calculating this whole fuck you moment, so he has a plan to monetize XAI and make up for the loss of ad revenue. Quick idea on the top of my head. You get people to pay a subscription, and you maybe pay creators to train the model on their tweets, and maybe there's some revenue sharing there, and that makes the model better than ChatGPT, something like that. Second, Linda, the current CEO of X, she has deals with other advertisers that are not the big ones, and they've secured enough revenue for Elon to feel comfortable to say this. I think that's probably not happening. I think Linda didn't even know he was going to say this, but we'll get into that. Or then second, this premium subscription, this $22 a month, is going to go through the roof when Grok gets introduced and, a lot of other stuff happens. So how do you think, if these big advertisers don't come back, or he's going to sell Tesla shares, right? How do you think Elon avoids having to sell shares to make Twitter profitable?
Wait, first of all, you don't need... I don't even think Twitter really needs to be that profitable to exist as a free platform. Okay. Like I get it that it's still a business. You need to make money, but dude, it's just a microblogging site. Okay. I'm sure that the upkeep is not nearly as much as people think. Not to mention 85% of the staff were let go, right? 85%. I'm sure that the upkeep of Twitter is not that high. So if Elon really believes in freedom of speech, I think whatever he's generating in terms of income right now is at least near break even. Okay, so if that is the case, then we don't have to really worry about much in terms of like, okay, what is going to happen? So I don't think that anyone should worry that Elon is going to have to sell Tesla shares to float Twitter. I just don't see it from a technology standpoint costing billions of dollars to run. They're not exactly like I don't know what their AWS charges look like, but in terms of like
they use
total
GCP,
cost,
they're on Google.
Is it GCP or Amazon?
Yeah, they have a partnership with Google. They announced in 2018.
Okay.
All their backend is on Google.
Yeah. So, maybe it's time to take that stuff off the cloud provider and develop your own data centers. Put everything on your own data center. I don't know.
They're already working on that. They are working on building data centers through Tesla.
Yeah.
But you don't know. You don't necessarily know. There is a plan here to get all of them together, because I mean, it all comes back down to his AI. He's got the XAI company. Grok was, I think, officially launched now. Like you can actually just go on the page and ask for access. So there's something there that's brewing. some combination of those companies, or at least goals wise, like that the goals are aligned for those companies. And I mean, worst case, one of the other companies can buy it, right? It can just be absorbed and become like the social media arm of one of the companies, like XAI could absorb it, or
right. I mean, here's a wild card. I thought, dude, what if Tesla like finances all their debt because they're gaining so much data from the 500 million tweets a day that they can train their models on? And so it would seem kind of sus because Elon's basically like, hey guys, let's use Tesla capital to like finance Twitter. But if they're actually getting something from Twitter, like data, maybe.
I have a crazy theory that at some point Grok will be the voice of the bot, and that eventually the LLM models that they're building by training it on Twitter data could actually be used in the cars to talk to the car.
And
so
Tesla has to pay for that. That's my point.
Yeah. So as I'm driving the car makes a mistake on FSD, and you're like, you know, when you get to this intersection, you're supposed to wait before you go. The same way you would train a human being. Well, they've already got the large language models that can understand what I'm saying, and the car would be able to essentially talk to me. So I see some way that this technology could come together, and Twitter is at the core of the data collection that's necessary to train all this stuff. So, yeah, it could work. There's a way, but I think out of the options that you posed, whatever that third option that you had, can you
subscriptions
tweet again?
$22 a month.
No, the number 3.
Yeah, that was they have to pay premium, $22 a month subs. It was either monetize XAI. Linda has more deals in the back burner, or people pay $22 a month, which is a lot of money, bro. That's a problem. Like a lot of people are not going to pay $22 a month.
Or step 4, the advertisers come back in 3 months.
Right, but to your point, if you didn't make it like you're paying $22 a month for Twitter, if you did it like a bundle, right, where you get Grok for free and you get this benefit from X, whatever it is, you know, you can make it seem like it's a bundle. Then you can.
Correct. Vitaly, what is you said on Twitter you think Linda's going to leave. Can you speak on that?
Oh yeah, so if Elon is making her job harder, so I mean, you got to put yourself in her position. She's not used to this kind of thing. So eventually if he keeps doing it, I could see her leaving, but she's going to line up some other job, of course, and maybe she's looking, who knows. Yeah, if Elon's making your job hard, why would you want to stay unless there is some massive upside to staying, of course, which we don't know her deal, right? We don't know the details of her deal.
Right.
But I could see her leaving. But I also assume she wants the money. So
you think people are only driven by money? Because if that's
I think Linda is driven by money. Yes.
I think she is too. Linda's an NBC ad.
Linda is driven by money.
Absolutely. She is the mainstream media, bro. Linda, like NBC.
World Economic Forum.
This is where she came from. She's not in it because of Elon's mission. Yeah, she's in it because she got a lot of fucking options in Elon's mission.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, even when she talks about free speech, if you saw it at the Vox conference,
so fake as
hell
when she talks about it.
So fake. Like Elon saying "fuck you" was real, bro. Linda Linda could do it. Elon wouldn't say shit. Elon's her boss. Elon would be like, "Yep."
He'd have been clapping. But the articles that I'm reading on it were like she was sitting there like wide-eyed, like you could see the white all the way around her pupils. Frozen.
I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
But you know.
All right. Thank you, 462 people for being here. I think we ring the bell 2 days in a row, 460. For those that are new to the bell,
yeah,
you want to close your ears for a little bit.
Put the link in the chat.
The bell is back. The bell is back.
The bell is
back.
Put
the link in the chat. See if anybody wants to come on. Somebody.
Yeah, see if link. I'm gonna have to get up early, but I would like to hear somebody come on and ask. You haven't had that in a while.
We call somebody out.
You know,
like, yo,
let's see. ET FaceTime. Come on down.
Yeah, ET, bro. We haven't seen you.
We do it like Price is Right. ET FaceTime. Come on down.
If anyone joins, they join. Just play this real quick because I actually going to want to highlight this. This is actually a really
good clip. Let's hear this.
Really good clip by Jamie.
In about a year.
Yep.
What do you think of the two leading candidates right now?
Oh God, I'm not going to tell you.
You're not going to tell me.
I did come out and make a nice statement about Nikki Haley.
You did. You've been talking to Nikki Haley.
Very liberal, yes, I have. Even if you're a very liberal Democrat, I urge you, help Nikki Haley too. Get a choice on a Republican side that might be better than Trump.
And is that your view, that it's anything but Trump?
I would never say that, because he might be the president. I have to deal with that too. And, but
when he was the president, you said critical things about him.
Yeah, I don't mind criticizing the president. Yeah.
But do you feel, I mean, one of the big questions, I think, is about the business community and whether they should be speaking out or not on politics. This is a big question, especially as we get into this election, and what the right answer is in this particularly unique moment.
You're going to have Kevin McCarthy next, who got mad at me one point because we took a point of view and saying, when you say politics is personal, right? So you all get to vote for who you want. We all get to debate and stuff like that. We get involved in policy. Okay, I will tell you all that we've done a terrible job taking care of our bottom 30% of earners. So you're all wealthy and have money and all stuff like that, but their average wages are $15 to $20 a year. They're the ones who lost their job in COVID. They're the ones whose health they're dying 5 or 6 years younger than the rest of us. They're the ones who don't have medical insurance. They're the ones who their schools don't work, and they're the ones dealing with crime. What the hell have we done as a nation? So, I agree with that. We need to fix that. So when you talk about policy, obviously we should, we need better immigration policy. We need better education policy. We need better infrastructure policy.
But you need people to run those policies. And the question is, who do you think would do a better job?
I'm not.
And the reason I ask is,
whoever's president, I'm going to try to help do the best job possible. But when Donald Trump became president, I went to see him and joined that.
So I'm actually very glad that he said that, because this is what the last part where he said, it's not my job to judge the person who gets into the office. It's my job to help the person that's in office do better for all of us as citizens, right? Like, I think too much of society today is, I don't like the guy who got elected, so that means that my entire job is now to undermine that administration or to undermine that person and do, basically cast every dispersion that I could possibly do. Now, the next part is actually even more important, and this is what I want to show you guys. So just watch real quick.
Business council, those things almost never work, by the way. I left at the second Charlottesville happened. My daughter wrote me a long, elegant letter about, basically anyone, how could you, Dad? She quoted Martin Luther King at the end. And I called her up, and then my other two daughters and my wife sent me a quick email saying, ditto. Like, you're embarrassing us. And I called her up and said, Julia, you have everything right, except the conclusion. I'm not taking myself off the playing field. I will walk into that Oval Office, try to help whoever is the president of the United States to do a better job for our people. That's my job. And I couldn't imagine saying I'm not going to White House because who's there. I don't agree with a lot of things he does. But I also want to point out, I think it's like we're in New York City, the bastion of liberal society. Like, people, we should stop talking about ultra MAGA. I think you're insulting a large group of people, and then we're making this assumption, scapegoating, which the press is pretty good at too, where that somehow these people believe in Trump's family values and they're supporting the personal person. I don't think that's true. I think what they're looking at is saying the economy is pretty good. Like, even the black community had the lowest unemployment rate ever in his last year. He wasn't wrong about China. He wasn't wrong about NATO. He wasn't wrong about the misuse of the military. So that's why they're looking at that. And Maureen Dowd wrote this great piece about her brother, why her brother's, I'm not sure he's pro-Trump, but he's pro-Republican. People should listen a little bit more to this. If you're a Democrat, read George Will. Read, if you're a Republican, read Tom Friedman. We should get out of this thing where it's one way or the other. I'm not mad at people who are anti-abortion. If you believe in God and the conception starts at the moment of birth, you are not a bad person. And I just think people have to stop denigrating each other all the time because people take a point of view that's slightly different than yours. And that, we're a democracy. People should vote and solve some of these issues. Okay, but then and they won't always be what you want.
I think that's a very important thing, because there's a level of, I'm sure that you guys have different belief systems than I do. There are certain things that we're going to agree on and certain things that we're going to disagree on. That doesn't mean that, one, we should cast dispersion on each other, hate each other. And hey, listen, the part that makes me really sad about society is that you can't even say who you like or you would vote for or who you support without now facing a huge discrimination. And I'm sure it's on the both sides, but it's primarily usually, if like right now I said, hey, I like Donald Trump, I think he's right about this one topic. It's like, oh, you're a Trump supporter? That means you're stupid. I don't want to associate myself with you. That's the kind of like society that we've become. And instead of just kind of like taking a step back and saying, look, let's hear you out. You like Trump, you like this idea, let's hear you out. And it's the same thing on the other side when they say, hey, we agree with this policy. okay, I want to hear you out. Give me the raw take. What do you think? We just need to listen to each other more and stop this nonsense of, like, oh, just look at the one person, and because of that one person, just cast an entire opinion on it. It's sad, man. It's really sad.
Chris, flip that hat around. Is that a MAGA hat?
No, it's not. No.
All right, valid points. Valid points. Can you look at the poll?
Yeah, how many people are paying for Twitter? So, out of 273 votes, we have 84% saying no. So
15%. All right. What is the total usership?
40 people pay for Twitter.
All right, but just going by percentage in this
16%.
strange.
So around 15%, but that's people who pay attention.
Right.
Cut it by half. Let's say 7%. Multiply that by the number of total users,
and then multiply that by 8.
Yeah. What do we get?
We're gonna have to do some math. We're gonna have to talk to Siri.
Okay, maybe I should have given Mitch the math problem.
Oh my God.
We have 250 million DAUs, right? So that 10% of that is what, 25 million, right?
Yeah.
25 million. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey Siri, what's 25 million times 8 times 12?
That's probably too much, but all right.
2.4 billion in revenue.
He's probably making $2 billion, I would assume.
Per month times 12 is what is that?
Wait, hold on.
No.
What's
That's
250 million
no.
times 8?
No, that sounds wrong then.
Oh, that's 2 billion. Oh, 2 billion is 24 billion a year.
A month? A year.
A year.
Hold on a second, man.
that's
So
too
that
much.
means they don't need 10%. They need like 3% probably.
Right. So they have nowhere near this at this point.
And don't forget, when you have like these with the yellow check marks, those are $1,000 subscriptions by
Yeah,
corporations.
but that's like maybe
No, there's a good amount. There are
There's
a
not a
good
good
amount
amount,
of those.
Chris.
Siri,
Yes,
use a
there are.
calculator.
Yeah.
But still, no. But Chris's point is,
fucking Siri useless, bro. Oh my god.
Oh, my Siri went off. I'm sure everybody's
Get an
Siri went
LLM
off.
into that bitch. Start acting, bro.
But
Goodness.
Chris's
Sucks.
point is every 1,000, like New York Times, every $1,000 account is like 1,000 divided by 8. So that's 250 regular people that don't have to sign up to make the same revenue. That's the point.
And not to mention, they have multiple accounts too. It's not just New York Times, but sometimes they'll have like, different divisions of a company all having different things, So, yeah.
Okay, we got 5 minutes left.
Hold on. Alexa, play Bon Jovi, New Jersey.
No, you're gonna
Demonetized. Don't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Alexa?
we need some breadcrumbs.
can't say
Cybertruck.
Alexa?
You can say Alexa studio mode, and then Chris's whole fucking.
No, you
house.
can't say Bon Jovi.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh, the headphones. You got that scream. So Cybertruck.
You got 5 minutes. What are you expecting? How much is it gonna
Alexa,
cost?
sexy mode. Chris's
Cybertruck
lights
tomorrow.
go.
I've been going back and forth with some people on X about it, and I think the top of the line one, the quad, $79,000 to qualify for the tax benefit. I think they're only going to make the quad, the 2 and the 3 motor, or maybe the 2 and the 4 motor. I don't know if they're actually going to do the 4 motor. I don't think we're going to see a single motor tomorrow. And I think it's going to be very well received, but I think there will be something that's said tomorrow that will cause the stock to tank the next day. Something that the mainstream media will pick up on. Something about delivery numbers, delivery estimates, something, a panel gap, whatever the fuck it is, or something Elon said, especially after today, something that will cause the stock to tank. But I don't know about you. I bought some today. If you remember our Discord, I put another $2,000 in, picked up another 9 shares, whatever it was.
I've been buying, if you see Carlos, I've been buying a lot of Enovix. I think there's a run coming.
What price have you been buying?
Getting ready for it.
$10?
Whatever
price it is. Whatever.
My average, I sold at 20, 3/4 of my position, 18 to 20. So now I'm buying back in, but yeah, I think my average now is, if I do the actual math, it's probably $2 because I bought shares.
That post, maybe we should bring it up. That post that someone tagged us on X, it had to do with Tesla, Malaysia, basically trying to lure Tesla, and they were trying to say, "Oh, look at all these companies that are here. Look at all these battery manufacturers," and Enovix was number 2 on the list.
I think Enovix is poised to have at least a run, if not a sustained run. I still don't believe it'll be a sustained run.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't have to be if you just want to keep.
Doesn't have to be. I'm doubling
By
my
the way,
shares, selling half.
Just FYI, Henry Kissinger is dead.
Oh man,
good
man.
I'm actually glad. Fuck that guy.
All right, we're killing off all the old men. That's good.
No. I mean, dude, if you know the history behind India and all the shit that we had to deal with in 1971 and Kissinger's response to what was going on, you'd be shocked. You'd be kind of like with it too, man. Trust me, the U.S. we have a long history of making some really fucking shitty decisions, and guys like Kissinger are one of the main reasons why. So I know a lot of people look back and be like, "Oh, Kissinger this, Kissinger that." Bro,
Weren't the Clintons really really buddy and cozy with him?
I don't know who it was, but I'll tell you, Indian people. Well, we all say one thing: fuck Kissinger. You know.
Okay.
I don't know too much about that guy, but yeah, I
Henry
guess
Kissinger. You don't
Chris
know?
said fuck Kissinger, so fuck Kissinger.
You fuck with my man, fuck you.
I'm gonna go. I actually have to go. We're gonna have dinner tonight, but I want to say,
Where are you getting
thing,
dinner?
guys.
Where are you getting dinner? Where are you getting? What are you eating?
There's some actually Cuban places around here. We're in Miami, everybody who hasn't heard. So we're in Miami filming, and it's so nice to be on, like, basically on the strip. We're like right down the beach. Beach is actually right behind me.
Are you going to the club?
There's a great club.
We're not going. I'm not going clubbing. No, not doing that.
I'll hit you
because my
up.
wife is watching.
He's like, I'm going right to bed.
I'll call you.
I'll hit you up offline. There's a cool little spot.
We're going to Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, that's the Miami now.
No, there's a lot of good Cuban places here. Spanish, all these places are delicious.
Get the ropa vieja, man. Just go for it.
I like that.
Did we talk about the Cybertruck? Did we say anything? How much it's going to cost? Did we?
I said
we did that yesterday, didn't we?
Top of the line, 79,000.
79.
Okay. For the tax incentives. I think we're gonna, and I'm hoping that we're gonna see some kind of a cool demonstration. We are supposed to see it tomorrow, demonstrating its bulletproof capabilities. He said that on Joe Rogan's podcast, he said that they have video of them emptying a 45 into the window and an entire clip of a Tommy gun, which is what killed Sonny in The Godfather, that Amit did not see.
Damn.
Into the side of it with no damage. So I'm curious to see that. That'll be cool. Okay. Amit is he's Googling The Godfather.
Well, before I did want to finish saying,
who the fuck is that guy?
Carlos brought up our Discord. We do have a Discord for anyone new, so go check it out. It's at Finance Lancer on Twitter, and Freelancer Finance if you're searching YouTube.
And we're over 1,000 members.
Yeah.
On the
Link
Discord.
is in the chat. Sign up to the Discord, baby. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Oh, Wong, you joined last minute.
What's up, man?
Vitaly's got dinner, bro. You joined. Vitaly, you can leave if you need to, but Wong, what's
I'll
up?
go,
man?
Wong, wait. Do you actually live somewhere? You're not in prison. What's happened to your fucking brick background?
Yeah, what happened to your
No, I'm in North Korea. No, I'm joining from my phone.
I told you.
Yo, how did you feel when Vitaly thought you were in China yesterday?
No, I thought that was funny, man. I actually I don't really like showing my location, so yeah, I'm fine with that.
That's fine. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Vitaly, you gotta go. I'll be on for a couple minutes with
all right, later, guys. Bye.
See you.
All right, bye.
Dude, Wong, how's life been, bro? It's been a while. How you doing?
It's been busy. School sucks. University definitely sucks, but trying my best. So I've just got doing my homework.
How old
so
are
yeah,
you again, Wong? How old are you?
22.
So you're in the senior year of college. You're in the last year.
No. I'm in first year actually. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
What are you studying in college?
Finance, just finance.
Oh, okay, just finance.
That's why he's watching the channel. Are you learning more from college or us?
I think I'm learning more from you because this is more like recent knowledge. Like there are a couple things in the academia that I don't agree with. Like they say, for example, you cannot beat the market, but then you see like a ton of people beating the market, and it's like, what are you talking about? And yeah,
so
what is hold on real quick. When you say learning from you, you're talking about me, not the pod, right?
Amit personally, of course.
Like no, from the pod.
Okay.
All right. So you're in your first year of college. Has there been anything that a teacher, a professor has taught you where you're like, yeah, this is why I'm in school. Like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome. Like I would not have learned that even from Finance Junkies.
Oh man, I did not come prepared for that question. There are a couple of things. I would say it's not useless, but there are certain things that I sort of even though I shouldn't disagree with it, but I do disagree with it. But yeah, I learned certain things. It's just more like building up the base because I feel like I'm learning more advanced stuff by myself, but the base, the bottom of the barrel is still important. So yeah, it's not useless, but yeah.
I mean, college teaches you about theory, right? Where you're supposed to understand why things happen the way they are, and then you're supposed to use those theories to craft your own narrative and then figure things out, right? So, people think that college is going to give you this base knowledge on how to make money in the market, and it's not true. There's so many things that you can learn outside of college, and that's one of the things that Charlie Munger was saying, that when you go to school, you're learning a certain principle and a doctrine, but then after when you get out of school, you realize that that's not how shit actually works, that there's actually more to investing than that, right? So like right now, public perception is not something that they teach you. Like, how do you quantify public perception on a balance sheet? You can't. It's hard. How do you quantify like geopolitical risk in a balance sheet? You can't. There's really no way that you can understand those things. And so that's where I think a lot of investors, they typically make a mistake, where they're too reliant on just theories and numbers, and they don't look at some of the other parts that you need to have with investing, some of the intangibles that are out there. And yeah, so if there's one thing I like about our podcast, is that we try to like speak about those intangibles in tandem with the financial aspects, so that this way you can make a well-informed decision, rather than just saying, hey, I'm going to invest in this company because the numbers look compelling, and then you find out later on that, hey, geopolitically they actually have a shit ton more risk than you originally thought, or the other way around, which is, you thought this company is the greatest thing on the planet, but that's because you don't understand the financials, and that they're probably going to go bankrupt next year, right? So the key to it is bringing both of those aspects together, and then hopefully using that to create huge alpha going forward.
Right. There are a couple of things. I'm gonna end it off here, but Charlie Munger said like you can't make money just using theory from academia. And also I think Chris, you will probably do pretty well if you were actually in academia, but I know you're not in that route, because I feel like the way you explain stuff is a lot more clearer than I feel like some of my lecturers were able to explain stuff. But I have one question. So what do you guys think of 2024? Because personally, I'm very, very bullish on 2024. I feel like I need to find some people to tell me other opinions, right? Because we have the election coming on, we have the possible cuts in interest rates, and it's possible that we are not going to have a recession, because we saw that the consumer is still strong, right? So money is still flowing out. So I have a very positive 2024 outlook, and I'm wondering if you guys feel the same way.
I would take a second look at the consumer. I think the consumer is ultimately the deciding factor. And the biggest thing to just watch out for is the effect of lag when it comes to these interest rate hikes. I don't know if those lagging effects are going to be felt now, right this minute, or is it going to take a little bit of time before those impacts come in? And then also, I think some people are already a little bit too bullish on the impacts of the rate declines and starting to bid up stocks. So just be careful of that, because usually when the pendulum swings, people overreact to it and they go right in. And yes, the market is forward looking, but sometimes people look way too forward into it. So I'd say right now, everyone is like, oh my God, everyone's going to cut in May. This is great. Everyone should be buying stocks now because I want to front run the market. When, to be honest with you, when the Fed usually starts cutting rates, it's either because of one of two things: that there is something geopolitically that is broken, that makes them and forces them to cut. And then even after they start cutting, there's a significant amount of lag before that benefit ends up making its way to the consumer. So right now we still have tight lending standards. We have credit contraction all over the place. There's still corporate bankruptcies happening right and left. So I think right now everyone is in this just thing of euphoria. I'd say be careful, look at your numbers, reevaluate, and just keep your eyes peeled. But I am bullish on 2024, the back half. Initially in 2024, I think we could see a small correction, and we could see some recessionary impacts start hitting us. I mean, you look at China right now. China's in recession mode. They're stimulating right now, right? Same thing with a lot of countries in Asia. There's a lot of pullback in terms of economic growth in other parts of the country, maybe not in the US right now. So, I'd say just don't just look at the US, look at some of the other countries, because eventually global macro conditions will make its way into the US. So like one of the things I'm keeping a track of right now is just the deflationary wave that's hitting China and the recessionary wave that's hitting them. They've got almost 20% youth unemployment right now. They've got negative GDP growth. This is you're talking about China here. Now you're not talking about
And they got Xi
small
Jinping
country.
inviting Gavin Newsom to have discussions, right? Like there's a lot.
Yeah,
of stuff going on.
my buddy Xi Jinping doing random shit. I don't know what he's doing.
All right, we got to end it here. Wong, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, 400 people,
Hey,
for
guys.
being here. Tomorrow we will talk Cybertruck. We'll see. We'll get a good look at this bad
We might
boy.
want to. We might want to live stream it. It's.
I
2 p.m.
definitely can't go live. I'll be busy.
I'll see. Maybe I'll hop on.
Maybe you guys can. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Bye bye. Have a good one.
See ya.